an entrepreneur, and you make vital decisions that hopefully blossom into a business. You're the savvy, out-of-the-box risk taker who believes wholeheartedly in the process of innovation. Innovation that will change the world. This is CEO Chat with Gresham Harkless, and you're about to embark on a journey through the awesome world of business. Gresham is the epitome of drive and desire as he works to help support small businesses and entrepreneurship. And you're about to learn from this entrepreneur how you can improve your odds of success in the business world. Welcoming the host of CEO Chat, here's Gresham Harkless.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, CEO Chat podcast, and Blue 16 Media, and I have an awesome guest on the show today. I have Chanel Lewis of Intelligent Office. Chanel, super excited to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here once again.
Yes, absolutely. It's great to have you on to hear a little bit more about what you do and all the awesome things that Intelligent Office Alexandria does. But for people that just might be listening to this, could you tell us a little bit more about Chanel and all the awesome work that you do?
Great. My name is Chanel Lewis. I'm with Intelligent Office of Alexandria. We do virtual office services, which means office and conference room rentals, telephone answering services, and administrative services.
Nice, absolutely. And there's so many different things it sounds like you all do to help out CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners to make sure that they don't have to carry the burden and the load that it feels like you're carrying it on a regular basis. Right,
exactly. Our job is to help business owners be as successful as possible, and doing any type of task that we can help them with, we are happy to do.
Nice, absolutely phenomenal. So we wanted to drill down a little bit more on one of those aspects, and that's the telephone answering services, right? Could you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
So telephone answering services, we actually have a team of receptionists who answer phone calls. We answer phone calls for about 100 different businesses, all different types of businesses, small to a solo practitioner who might be, a lawyer or a CPA. All the way up to associations who have like 60,000 members and doctors' offices in different locations.
Wow, so you said 60,000 members.
We do have a association that we answer for that has 60,000 members.
Wow, that's a lot of bandwidth, I imagine, to try to carry.
That is it's a lot of fun, but with our team of ladies who are answering that we have right now, we can get the job done in no problem. So I'm very confident in them.
Nice. I absolutely love that. And so I know that there's a lot of different types of, sizes, probably even stages of businesses that are kind of listening to this, from your solopreneurs to, like you mentioned, the doctors, the lawyers, the attorneys, associations, and everything in between. I guess, does Intelligent Office Alexandria have like one set way, or is there multiple ways that you can kind of meet clients where they are?
That's actually a really great question. We do cater our packages depending on the client's needs.
Okay.
So if you're just, maybe a small business who's starting out, you can start at one of our lower packages that we have. And then if you are a larger client, then we can cater and custom to the needs that, you have. Some people, might, need more help, and others just need us to answer the phone call, and that's fine. It's whatever the client would like.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And so I guess if I'm maybe just getting started in a solopreneur, I want to look at maybe one of the lower packages, or maybe starter packages, or however you call it, like what would that look like and how does that work?
So if that happens, I would initially talk to, you starting out, and I would just kind of get an idea of your business and make it more customizable, like I said. If you're starting out, we do have lower packages that's starting out with like 25 calls and minute packages. Somebody who's just starting out, I normally would suggest that we would just start with just the basic, answering of the service. Like we would, if you need a telephone number, we actually can provide that as well, a business phone number. We have a bank of about 300 phone numbers, and we can also get other numbers throughout the country, or 800 numbers. Nice. So do you have your business phone number? If you do, great. If you don't, we can get you one. We can start you off at a smaller package, like I said. And then what would happen is we would start and have a phone orientation with me or with one of our team members. Mm-hmm. And we have a list of set questions that we will ask so that we can learn about your business and how we can best answer your phone calls. And then if you do get a phone call and it would just be, let's say we would answer and then we would pass that phone call to you, or if you want us to just take a message and email it over to you, we can do that as well. But if we do pass the call over to you, it would be, let's say, me on the phone, and I would just say, hey, Gresham, I have, Alex from BA&I or whatever, and you can at that point accept the call, or if you don't want to, we can, let them know that you're unavailable and put them in a voicemail that we provide for you. And the voicemail gets transferred to a .wav file so you can listen to it on your email.
Nice. I absolutely love that. And I think the thing that I love most about it, and I think when we first connected, that was one of the things that you mentioned to me, is that, you're busy running your business, you're doing all these different things, right, juggling, and you don't want to interrupt sometimes that flow, or if you're in a meeting potentially to have to answer those calls, so to make sure that they talk to somebody.
Right. And it also gives, that professional, aspect of it. Like, even if you might be working at home or you're working out of a Panera or Starbucks, you have somebody who's going to answer your phone call, and it's like, wow, Gresham has, a receptionist. He must be doing really good. Like, you might, maybe more inclined to do business with you because they're like, oh, I see he's already on a, off the beaten path, as opposed to maybe like you're just sitting there and you answer your phone. It's like, Gresham, why are you answering your own phone call? Like,
yes, exactly.
So, and then also too, like you did say, like, a lot of those calls might be a robocall. Google calls a lot. Like, don't waste your precious time answering those calls. Let us do it, and you can continue to work on your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Work on your business instead of in your business. And I think, nothing can be more of a turnoff than if you're sitting at a Panera Bread, you're talking to a potential client, you're hearing forks and knives and loud music.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that you have that professional aspect to your business.
Exactly. We also do different, like I said, we do have clients who we do a little bit more for. Okay. So at that point, let's say, you're building up your business and now you might need a little bit more extra help. We can do that. We do calendar scheduling as well. Okay. We do calendar scheduling for, doctor's offices, therapists, law offices. As long as we have access to your system, whatever you're using, we can definitely set up the parameters for scheduling for you. Okay. And we've also helped people set up their own calendar, ourselves, so that they, on Google Calendar or whatnot, so that they can at least get the ball rolling if they haven't done it yet.
Okay, nice. So I love that, again, because, time is so precious, and being able to kind of take those times. I don't know if anybody's ever been on those phone calls where you're like, okay, can you meet at this time? Well, no, I can't do that time. Oh, yeah, you're in a different time. Just all these different moving parts. That's time that could be put towards something else, but you all can kind of step in and take care of that.
Absolutely. Yes, that's very easy. Again, as long as we do that initial orientation where we establish the parameters, we absolutely can do that for you.
Nice. I love that. So it doesn't matter what system that a business or an entrepreneur might be using, you're able to kind of help out with that as long as you set that up through the orientation. And even if you don't have that, you guys are able to step in and set that up as well too.
Exactly. Yes. Nice. The good thing is we've probably used almost every calendar probably imaginable. So once you've used 5 or 6 or 7. You know them all. You know them all. Yeah, you know what buttons to click, the time slots and whatnot. So you're good. But yes, that's absolutely something we can definitely help with.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, it's often like riding a bike. Once you set up and learn one system, then you know them all. They have different buttons in different places, but
but it's
button.
there. Exactly.
It's the same button.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I love that. So we talked about, getting started, maybe in a startup mode, just needing like the basic phone answer, and then, take a step to another level. Business is doing well, potentially getting and booking time because you don't have as much time. You need somebody to kind of book that on. So what would be a step potentially beyond that you all can kind of help with?
Yeah, so we do, like I said, we answer for associations, doctors' offices, and we can definitely be that, businesses' reception ourselves. But for instance, like in some of our doctors' offices that we answer for, they have staff, they have front desk staff, who are there, and sometimes we are their backup. So if they're too busy, they have people in front of them, the call will roll over to us, and then at that point we can answer. Sometimes people have their phones going split between us and them. So that way, even if we're not your full-time staff, like we can at least help. Some people forward the calls to us when their staff is at lunch or they're on vacation. So again, everything is customizable and up to you. And then we also do, the associations who are helping us with a lot of their type of calls we handle from beginning to end, so we don't even bother their staff. So for instance, we help out callers when they call with, they need to renew their membership, they forgot their password, they need to reset it, they want to register for webinars, for conferences, they need to purchase books, clothes, accessories, anything that they might be selling. We definitely help with that as well. Again, it's just train us on how to do it, and then we will make sure that we get it done. I like to tell people, whatever you can have your front desk person doing 9 times out of 10, I would say 9.5 times out of 10, if you can train them to do it, we can do it. We're just not at your location, but the caller never knows that.
Right.
And all the staff, it's good because we're local, so we're great at like giving, driving directions and stuff like that to different people, and it gives you that touch of like it's personable. You don't have somebody answering all the way across, overseas, exactly. Yeah. So you know who you're talking to. You're going to know our staff. You're going to know our names. Right. We're going to know you. We are going to know your business and how you work, and that's how we, make that the best for the callers.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, and it kind of feels like more of a partnership, for lack of a better term, than just answering phone calls. Like you said, you build that relationship, that connection, and you brought up, that part as well too, where sometimes as good as Google Maps is, as good as Waze is, sometimes it doesn't lead you exactly where you need it to be. Right. So to be able to have a phone call and do things, which sounds like small things, but I think they're huge when somebody's potentially trying to frequent your business, patronize your business, to be able to find you, to kind of make that connection, give that kind of voice to, in that relationship, I guess, to somebody that might be coming to your place.
Yes, and just to show you how far we're willing to go, I had a client one time who had signed up for phone services, and a lot of their calls initially it was a storefront. Right. So people would call and they were confused about how to get to his location. Right. And so he had given us the directions, but still people were having issues. Right. And so one day I was just like, you know what, I'm going to use these directions that he's given us, and I'm going to go drive to his store. Nice. And they were the wrong directions. They did not work. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, now this makes sense. And I rewrote it out, and we brought it to the staff. But just to, that level of just wanting to do better for our client, that we'll go drive over there. Let's see, what are people having a hard time with, and then changing that. That's gonna help your callers not get frustrated, and they're gonna want to do business with them even more. And that's what our job is, to help in that way.
Yeah, I love that, and literally, I guess, figuratively and literally going that extra mile, even if you're driving there. But I think it helps out so much, because that's why I use the word partnership, because a lot of times in our business, sometimes we're so close to it, we don't realize all the things that we don't see. Like you said, directions, and sometimes there are other things as well too. But I think having that partnership and that back and forth, and getting to know that you're gonna, at the end of the day, help develop a better business, help serve your clients more, and have that partnership is absolutely huge.
Yes. And then also too, just so that, we do outbound call campaigns. Okay. A lot of times with some of our clients, they need to, maybe remind their clients as well to do stuff. So, we do outbound call campaigns for, people that we calendar schedule for. Maybe, they'd let us, client lets us know that, hey, I need to schedule an appointment with Gresham. Can you get them on my calendar? We'll be happy to call out. We've also done larger scale call campaigns for our associations, where they've given us a list. I remember one time we had a list from one of our associations, and it was like 6,000 people that we had to call over a period of a couple months. Wow. We got it done, and we got, I want to say, I can't remember, it was a little over like 30% renewal just from that list.
Wow.
That was generated there. And that's perfect for them, because their staff doesn't have time to call it.
Right.
That's what we're here for. That's what we can do. We have the staff to do that for them. And they got their return back full, two times fold probably. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 30% is definitely a high number
Yeah.
with that renewal.
Yeah.
So I think that really brings up a really strong point, is that I think so many times in business, you do a really phenomenal job and you're looking for that renewal, but maybe you haven't had that touch point, anytime before that renewal,
right.
And you want to be able to do that. And sometimes we forget, just by sending out those automated emails, that doesn't necessarily close the deal. Sometimes you need to provide that reminder and
right.
that gentle touch to say, hey, like we've been, you've been part of this association, or you've been coming to our doctor or dentist or whatever
right.
for years. We want to just check in and see how things are going. Oh, by the way, we're renewing, and checking on those things. And I think it provides that personal touch,
yes.
which I imagine assigned to that 30%.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's usually what people will do. They'll send the emails first.
Right.
They'll notice that it's not working, and so then it's like, okay, let's take that next step and actually give them a person to talk to, and then I think people see like, oh, these people don't just want my money, they actually do care.
Right, absolutely. And then on the flip side, I imagine too, like if there's certain things that members might call for, you mentioned two phrases. You said split calls and rollovers. So I guess that means like you can potentially use the in-house staff, if you have that, to take the calls and split the rest with your team.
Yep.
Or like you said, and I guess in a rollover standpoint, if there's no one that actually answers, it would roll over to your staff automatically.
Yeah, and that's not even just for people who have large-scale staff. I have solo practitioners who do that. If they can't answer, then it'll roll over to us. So the whole point is also with that, it's like, as a business, a business and a business owner, you don't want to miss your phone calls. Mm-hmm. You don't want to miss that next sale. Right. So if you're not able to do it, then at least we can do it and have like a touch point for the caller, so they just don't go down the list on Google like, okay, this person didn't answer, so I'm just going to go and call the next person.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear that a lot with emergencies. Like a lot of people, they just pretty much go down, just like the old phone book. They'll go down the line of Google and they'll just answer whoever answers first. That's who actually gets the business. So I love that. And I feel like too, I don't know if you've seen this with the clients that you work with, sounds like, growth was really coming to my mind, is like how, as an organization, association, a business, do you grow without having all of that overhead of bringing on like a full-time person and having to train, do all those things. It sounds like you help out with that growth so that you are an extension of that organization.
Absolutely. So, you have to think about it. If you yourself are going to hire your own receptionist, you're going to have to pay salary. Healthcare, benefits if you're providing them, and that's one person who's working, the average 40, hour work week, which is normal. But with us, for a quarter or half or a fraction of the price, you're not only getting one person who's answering your phone calls, you're getting a team of like 4, 5, 6 people who are going to answer your phone calls. And all of them can answer 6 calls at one time. We try not to, but it's possible. Let's say you got that many phone calls, but that's the technology that we're able to do. So if you get 3 phone calls who come in at one time, because you're doing such great in business, you can only talk to one person yourself. Right. Your receptionist would only be able to talk to one person themselves. Right. You have 3 phone calls. We have 3 people who's going to be able to talk to all 3 people at that same time and at least get a touch point again on your caller. So, and at a fraction of the price.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a fraction too, like going back to that 40 hours that you mentioned as well too. Not only, sometimes we in business are trying to figure out, should we hire somebody, should we not hire somebody? Is there any middle ground even to do that? And if you're bringing on somebody for 40 hours a week, do I have 40 hours worth of work to assign to them? But it sounds like because of the team aspect and you being a partner, you're able to kind of, again, meet people where they are.
Exactly. That's it. That's exactly what that is. That's a great point. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Also, I truly appreciate that. So I wanted to drill down a little bit more. I know we touched a little bit on the benefits. Are there any more benefits that you've seen from the clients that you've worked with and the people that you serve that maybe you can highlight? I know we talked a little bit about time and obviously the money. Is there anything else that we maybe didn't touch on?
I would just have to say that It's the yes, there's the benefit in making sure that you as a business owner are not wasting your time answering your phone calls and doing small mundane tasks, or even if there's tasks that we can do, for you as well. And being on the phone, people don't realize, is a lot of time. If you're getting like 10 phone calls a day, half of them are probably going to be spam, robot, I don't know, maybe your mom calling you and bothering you. Yes. But like that's time that you're not working on your business. Right. I have had plenty of clients who told me they see the difference as soon as we start answering, and they didn't realize how much time that they were wasting, with their phone and doing stuff that they just didn't need to do. And also I literally had a client sign up, I want to say 2 months ago. She works, in a signage shop, and sometimes her staff was too busy to answer the phone calls. Okay. And so what happens is she's one of those people where if they can't answer, it rolls over to us.
Got it.
And one of the messages we sent that first week, she responded, and she was just like, I just want to tell you, Chanel, thank you so much. I've already picked up an additional revenue of like $600 just in these couple of days. Right. For people who we probably would not have been able to answer the phone, and they would have just called somebody else. Right. So just to have that somebody talk to them, acknowledge them, and tell them we were going to get right back to them. She was like, I don't even understand how much money I probably have lost out on because of it. Yeah. So that was nice to see, especially after she literally had just signed up, and it was probably like 3 days later, and I was just like, yes, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely what you're here for. And I think like a pro tip, and even I call them hacks, that sometimes we forget as CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners. You kind of alluded to it. It's tracking your time, because I think we don't realize how and where we're spending our time. But if you take the time to actually track it, you do realize that what should be a 2-minute phone call ends up being sometimes an hour. And how you can kind of get that off of your plate. But I will say this: if my mom calls, she gets a direct line. I will not be using that for my phone. Exactly. I will not be answering that my calls from my mom there. So I appreciate that. Yeah. I can't do that though. So that's the important part.
Hey, there's some people.
Yes. Absolutely. So I know we touched a little bit upon all the benefits and all the ways that you can kind of fit it. I guess for somebody that might be listening to this is ready to kind of get started, says, hey, this sounds phenomenal. And how do you even kind of get started with something like this?
One, call me, email me, 703-224-8800.
Nice.
Yeah. I would just want to have a conversation. We need to sit down and, doesn't have to take long. I just want to know about you and your business, what your needs are, and my job is to come up with the best package that will work for you and your business. And you don't have to start off with all the bells and whistles. If you just want to start off with us just answering the phone calls, great. If you want to add stuff later, awesome. And then from there, we would just discuss the call packages that we have. And then it's so easy to get set up. You can literally have us answering your phones by the next day if you take the time to, work with me, and we do that training session. But yeah, it's we're ready whenever you are, and we want to help the everybody, get their time back and make some more money and give that professional, experience to their clients.
Nice. I love that, and how simple it is to kind of get started, and how you, again, have that conversation that really, lays the basis and the foundation for, how those calls are going to be answered and what that looks like. And I know you touched a little bit upon this. It might be somewhat of a challenging, more difficult question, but you touched a little bit upon the savings that I think you said the sign company got back. I guess, is there a kind of, I know it probably comes up during that conversation, is there kind of like a range or price point or just starting point? Is there anything you can provide for people that might just be wondering what this might look like and how they can get that money back?
I mean, we have packages that start anywhere from $150 all the way up to and as high as you want to go,
Right,
but
infinity.
if you're
And beyond.
if Google, like a Google type of business,
Yes.
I might need
Right.
some help for it
Right.
initially, but we'll get it done.
Yes.
So it could start anywhere from $150 and work its way up. It's everything we would just do is we just need to have that conversation, and once I have that conversation, I can let you know what your price range is going to look like.
Okay, nice. I appreciate you breaking that down. I know that might be more of a challenging question, but appreciate you touching on that, because I think, again, when we look at a lot of times our products and services and
Right.
how much we make, what our revenue looks like, that's a very minimal cost of what it would be to definitely like bring somebody else on, it sounds like.
Right. And you have yeah, absolutely. And again, you're not going to get your money's worth on having 4 people answer as opposed to just having one staff person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just common sense. And
Yeah.
all of them are trained the same way. All of them, we know how to answer your phone calls. We have software that lets us have your information right there on our computer screens, so that we're not giving, false information or, directions or whatever that's
Right.
not true. So that's the good part as well.
Nice. Well, truly appreciate you again for taking some time out with us,
Thank you.
Chanel. So just again, I know you mentioned it, but I want you to mention it again for people that want to take that action, want to at least have that conversation, a phone call. What's the best way for them to get hold of you?
Yeah, you can call me, Chanel Lewis, at Intelligent Office of Alexandria, and it's 703-224-8800.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Chanel. We will have the links and information in the show notes as well, too, so that everybody can get in touch.
Perfect.
But appreciate you for all the work that you're doing, support that you're providing for business owners, and reminding us of how important our time and resources that we're investing into our business and how partnerships can help out with that.
Exactly. Thanks. I really appreciate it.